But still I kept at it, and I brought him back. I had to hurt him to do it, but God knows it wasn't out of spite that I hit him. God knows. And when I seen Dan go into that burning barn, I says to myself, Buck, if nothing is done that wall will fall, and there's the end of Dan Barry. There's the end of him. That ain't any human use. And when he's finished, after a while maybe Kate will get to know that they's other men in the world beside Dan. I says that to myself, deep and still inside me. And then I looked at Kate standing in that white thing, with her yellow hair all blowing about her face, and I wanted her like a dying man wants heaven. But then I says to myself again, no matter what's happened, he's been my friend, he's been my pal, he's been my bunkie. Doc, you ain't got a way of knowing what a partner is out here. Maybe you sit in the desert about 1,000 miles from nowhere, and across the little mesquite fire there's your pal, the only human thing in sight. Maybe you go months seeing only him. If you're sick, he takes care of you. If you're blue, he cheers you up. And that's what Dan Barry was to me. So I stands saying these things to myself, and I says, if I keep that wall from falling, Dan'll know about it, and they won't be no more of that yellow light in his eyes when he looks at me. That's what I says to myself. Poor fool. And I went into that fire and I fought to keep that wall from falling. You know what happened. When I come out staggering and blind and 3 parts dead, Dan Barry looks up to me and touches his face where I'd hit him, and that yellow comes glimmering and blazing in his eyes. Then I went back to my room and I fought it out. And here's where I stand now. If I stay here, if I see that yellow light once more, there won't be no waiting. Him and me, I have to fight it out right then. Am I a dog? Maybe. That I've got to stand around and jump when he calls me? My dear fellow, my dear Mr. Daniels, cried the horrified Dr. Byrne. Surely you're wrong. He wouldn't go so far as to make a personal attack upon you. Wouldn't he? Bah, not if he was a man, no. I tell you, he ain't a man. He's what the Canucks up north call a werewolf. There ain't no mercy or kindness in him. The blood of a man means nothing to him. The world would be better rid of him. Oh, he can go soft and gentle as a girl. Mostly he is. But cross him once, and he forgets all you done for him. Give him a taste of blood, and he jumps at your throat. I tell you, I've seen him do it." He broke off with a shudder. "Doc," he said, in a lower and solemn voice, "maybe I've said too much. Don't tell Kate nothing about why I'm going. Let her go on dreaming her fool dream. But now hear what I'm saying. If Dan Barry crosses me once more, one of us two dies, and dies damned quick. It may be me, it may be him, but I've come to the end of my rope. I'm leaving this place till Barry gets a chance to come to his senses and see what I've done for him. That's all. I'm leaving this place because there's a blight on it, and that blight is Dan Barry. I'm leaving this place because, Doc, because I can smell the coming of bloodshed in it. There's a death hanging over it. If the lightning was to hit and burn it up, house and man, the range would be better for it." And he turned on his heel and strode slowly down towards the corral. Dr. Byrne followed his progress with starting eyes. End of chapter 25.